Our next performer up to the stage is Angelina Leanos. Angelina Leanos is the 2021 and 2022 Ventura County Youth Poet Laureate and a student at California Lutheran University. In high school, she won the Poetry Out Loud competition at both the school and county levels and has since returned as a recitation coach for Ventura County. She's a board member for the Ventura County Arts Council and is also the youngest poet in California Poets in the school's history on their board of directors. Wow, we are so lucky to have her. Welcome, Angelina.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to try to speak loud enough so everyone can hear me. But yes, so I'm a student here at Cal Lutheran. I'm actually a senior, so I'll be graduating in a week now. So I'm really happy to be here and see a couple faces out there I actually recognize. But yeah, so I'll be reciting some poetry. Obviously, we're here to talk about mental health. And I think poetry really helped me to process a lot of things that I felt, a lot of things that I experienced. So I really want to end this on a positive note. But I will say that this first poem, at least, may have mentions of nothing explicit, but just a warning of self-harm, I think, is something a lot of teenagers experience. I have never been through that, but I have been the person to be there for someone who has. And so this first poem kind of comes from that experience, so to speak. So if that's anything that you might not want to hear, feel free to take your space. But this is a poem I wrote with that in mind, and it's called Painting Sunsets. He tells me he wants to paint sunsets, and I know he is in pain. I know because he isn't an artist, that he's never held a paintbrush, that he doesn't mean to do it while he is still breathing. And my heart bleeds with every color known to man, erases the feeling until it's blank and offers itself as his canvas, desperate to save him from the fire or the darkness or whatever else awaits him. I tell him we can't afford the cost, and he weeps with the weight of silent suffering because his mother can't take another heartbreak, let alone a trip to the store. So instead of offering him that out, I offer him my pen and say, take this in memory of me. These pages have become my God. Pray to them every night, and someday they just might save you too. So that's my first poem. And on a lighter note, I know that it is so hard to find positivity, to find optimism, especially when we're in those dark places. And I have learned that writing was one way for me to express that, but also to reach people who don't really know how to express that. So this next poem is called Love Light. Too often, I've searched for it in other people, a magnet looking for its opposite, just to feel a pull that means attraction, intimacy, just to feel something. So when I don't love myself enough, I hope more than anything that someone else still does. After all, light is supposed to be brightest in the dark. Love light, though, is something I can never find. So instead of looking inside of myself, beaming with too much love for someone else to handle, too good for my own good, I look for someone else. I search for confirmation of my worth in another's heart, in another's eyes, hands outstretched in the dark, wanting nothing but that something that I will only find in myself. So that's my second poem. This next poem was one that I wrote back in high school, and it was one of the first poems that I really publicly expressed to people, and it was more to promote that self-love. And I realized that a lot of the times, these affirmations that we are told to say, right, that I'm beautiful, I'm loved, I'm worthy, that was something I'd never really been told by anyone in high school. I didn't know that that was a thing that you could do. It wasn't until college that people started talking about that. So this poem in high school was my affirmation before I knew what that was. So this is called Letter to Myself. Last night, I wrote a letter to myself because no one else would. I wrote about how I brighten up a stormy day like the sun releases flowers from their underground prisons. I wrote about how my laugh can make even the coldest people smile. I wrote about my hair, my eyes, my smile, the very things that aren't the only thing that's beautiful about me. They're just addition. I wrote about my heart and its undeniable value, so pure and so treasured that anyone who doesn't care about it is blind. I wrote about myself and how everything in me is valuable, lovable, beautiful. I wrote until my heart was at peace, its contents spilled in ink across the paper. Last night, I wrote a letter to myself because no one else would. And I said 3 simple words. I love you. It was the most beautiful letter I had ever received. Thank you. So I have 2 more poems. This next poem is also one that I wrote in high school. And again, it kind of came from being that caretaker friend, right? And seeing so many people around me be really negative and lost in their own darkness. So this is called Dear You. Everyone has a shadow, and I know yours. Your shadow is the one who tells you that you can only cry when you're stuck in the darkness. You can only afford to let your tears fall when no one is watching. Your shadow is the one who shows you to hide your pain behind a laugh, trying to tell people you're fine when you don't really believe it. Your shadow is the one who tells you to roll down your sleeves because no one can see what lies beneath them. Your shadow is the one who convinces you that no one cares because they're too busy loving someone else. Everyone has a shadow, and I know yours. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. Having a shadow means that you are passing your darkness. Having a shadow means that everything ahead of you is bright, because how else would it be there? Everyone has a shadow, and I know yours. So will you let it consume you? Or will you turn around and face the light? So this last poem I want to end on is one that has been really popular lately, and it's not so much about mental health as it is about the arts and how important they are. And I really wanted to express art as a person, as someone that I could write to. So this is called Art, Mi Amor. Who said art isn't important to society? Isn't as fascinating as football, not as life-changing as life-saving services, not as powerful as politics? I've spent years studying art like a young teenager in love, and she's never failed to amaze me. Don't you know she saves lives every day, and not just mine? She's a mother making sure we all have an outlet for our pain. And wouldn't you say that she's beautiful too, when she's the reason we're all here today? She's a woman no one really values or understands, but still she rises to the stand and raises her voice, speaking her mind and truth to the world. This poem speaks for me just as I do for her. My pen is my weapon in a world of chaos, and art gives me the strength through it all. So let me show you what I got. I could slam the ground with my words when they fall from the mouth and make the earth quake, shake, hold its breath just to take them in, because I am a poet and I am not afraid to show it. Art is my best friend and partner in crime. She's taught me every poetic device and rhyme that could run from the server I call my tongue, so please don't you ever disrespect me or my poetry or my lover, especially when she's with me, because you will never hear the end of this tale written into every word I write. Every breath I take, every step I take is dedicated to her, just like these words, art, mi amor. You are worth so much more than any community gives you credit for. You helped me find myself when I couldn't even raise my voice, so let me repay you in every poem. In every art form that I show them, you will be my muse until the end of time. The reason I love and the reason I live, and I will show them how important you are in everything that I write. Thank you.